What's up, everybody, and welcome to my channel, Hamill's House of 3D Prints. We are newbies up in this 3D realm, and I'm going to talk to you about what kind of lessons learned happened to us within the first month being a small business slash personal printer. We do both 24/7 around here. My dog just busted in. I must go close the door. Stand by. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about some of the things that was presented to us, and we really had no idea that to expect. We did a lot of research before we jumped into it, and when I say jumped into it, we really jumped into it. We began printing in November of 2024. It's now January of 2025, and we have two A1s and two A1 minis pretty much running 24/7, except right now they all happen to be offline. And I thought, oh my God, I got to get all these printers on. But then I thought, I'm not going to be able to record my video. Priorities. Okay, so I have my notes here. I'm just looking down a little bit so you guys know what I'm looking at. But I do want to discuss some things as a true beginner. I did not know anything about 3D printing. I had an idea that there were machines out there that were creating single, boring, ugly filament things like my brother would make parts for his VW bus or something. That was about the extent of what I knew. So we're going to do 5 lessons I've learned as a 3D printer. Am I a 3D printer? Am I a 3D printer person? But I tell you, I researched, I binge watched lots of printing videos on YouTube. I didn't see too many people talking about the ridiculous problems I came across. So with that being said, let's jump into the 5 lessons learned as a 3D printing beginner, small business edition. So the first problem that came into our reality becoming new 3D printers was adhesion. Now, I know this topic is very much debated all over the interweb about whether or not you need to use different types of adhesions. Everybody has different plates and different printers and different experiences. I'm just sharing what happened to us and what's working for us. So our very first printer we bought was the A1, and we were so excited, and unfortunately it was literally failure after failure after failure. Nothing would stick, and I was so frustrated. I thought, what the heck is the problem? So I called my trusted confidant and I said, yo, girlfriend, what is the issue? I need the deets. Why can't I make anything? And she goes, girl, didn't you know? Did you know the purple glue stick? And I was like, what? Purple glue stick, bamboo glue, or Aquanet. Any of the 3 would work. And I was like, I'm sorry. Did anyone else have to pause? Okay, what? Why am I putting glue on my like $500 machine I just bought? Yeah, we had to buy the damn glue. So we bought the glue. We bought the purple glue. Now we've bought a lot of different glue. And like the cheapest one, which I will link in the description, it's like 25 cents a stick. It is better than the $15 sticks. It's better than the bamboo. It's actually the best. It's just the Elmer's purple glue. So anyways, we used the glue since, and it's never been a problem. A lot of people will say, I've never had to use glue. And it's like, okay, well, maybe you have a different bed. Maybe you have a different plate. I don't know. Maybe you have a different climate. Okay. I don't know, but it didn't work for us. Okay. So what do you want me to do? So if it works for you, time is money, okay? If it works, it works. Just do what works for you. That's not the end of the glue story. Or I'm sorry, the adhesion problems. So come our second printer, we decided to get the A1 Mini with the AMS. We thought we were being super sneaky, super clever this time, and we got the super cool tack, whatever plate, right? Super good adhesion. So we got the plate, and the first thing we made were some articulating ornaments. This is now December. And guess what? They sat so hard, they did not come off. Their butts stayed, and they catastrophe. So I thought, oh, well, that's weird. Maybe it's because we used silk. So we tried something else, still stuck. I was like, okay, called my trusted confidant. What is the deal now? And she goes, girl, didn't you know that purple glue? And I'm like, what? She's like, that purple glue. The purple glue... Okay, well, it's I don't need to stick it more. And she's like, no, girlfriend, that purple glue is so you can get it off. Shut the front door. I've had it with you. Okay. So we glue everything, okay? We've been gluing plates left and right all day long. That's what we do. We slap the glue, we rinse, we repeat. And so far so good. Many weeks, many days, everything is right as rain. So, my friends, if you can't get shit to stick, get some glue. I have not tried the Aquanet, but we are fans of the glue. Okay, we have really just beat that glue horse in. We're gonna move on. Okay, so the second lesson learned was the amount of time that was involved in everything that encompasses 3D printing. I did not know that it would be quite a babysitting job, quite a learning curve when it comes to maintenance. Time and maintenance. That's really number 2 here. That is let me just fill you in case you were wondering. Sure, you can make yourself a big dragon. That's great. But if you start adding colors to that dragon, oh good God, it takes forever. So one of our biggest projects took about 44 hours. Now, on top of that 44 hours, if you have a spoolie that's sticking, if you have clogging issues in that certain hot end, I mean, if you're going to run out of filament, that's a whole nother thing. Like, there are things that can go wrong. It is a babysitting job. The more printers you get, the more time takes away from you, from them needing things. They need you. They're like little children. They need you. I had no idea that the more printers, like by the time I was at 4 printers was when I started to realize the work involved. So, I mean, you could do what I did and just go all ham and buy as many as you can, as fast as you can, which is what I did. I bought 4 in 2 months. So now we're busy. Like, we're busy. Just to get these 4 up and going, it takes a lot of prep. There's a lot of prep before you start. There's a lot of prep during babysitting. And then there's a lot of post work to do, especially if you're selling your stuff. You know, because I use glue, I have an extra step now where I have to clean my stuff at the end of my prints. Like, when you are trying to be creative about what it is that you want to print, make sure that you have the right colors, make sure that, you know, your scaling is correct. It's a lot. It's a big learning curve. And unless you have a lot of time to dedicate to multiple printers, having a print farm is a second job. It is a babysitting job. It is awesome. And I can't wait for my 5th printer. The third lesson that I learned was running out of filament and just filament issues in general. I didn't realize what a pain in the A it can be with this filament. Lots of different problems. Number 1, what's with them constantly sticking? Somebody commented on one of my videos about how I can solve this problem. It went over my head. I do apologize about that. I have no idea what you were talking about, sir, about unspooling and then rewrapping, and I ain't got time for that. But we have been trying to come up with something that we can create our own product to help this problem. Because as of right now, it just needs like a washer or really heavy bolt to keep it low enough to where it doesn't get stuck underneath the other loose filament. I can't explain it, but it's a pain in the butt. Maybe I'll put some B-roll here and show you how it gets stuck. And the more printers that you have, you don't realize like how many doubles of colors you need. So I have my small business is with crystals, and we started incorporating 3D printed items. So my clientele, 100% of it is my crystal clients. So I accept their 3D requests for custom work, and many of the times they have eyeballs in everything that they want, and that means I need black and white 4 times, 4 different printers. And I didn't realize that until I had 4 printers and I had multiple requests. And I was like, I need 4 whites just to keep the 4 printers going, not to even think about the fact that those whites will run out pretty quickly. I need 8 whites on hand at all times. That's expensive. So, yeah, the filament, that is another issue. Another issue with filament is sometimes I will order a filament and it is not the color that I thought I was getting. So that was a weird one. I ordered a red, black, gold, and it came out red, black, pink, and it was very ugly. I returned it immediately. We had filament that completely clogged our printer every time we used it. I sent that one back. we have filament, it'll roll and give you those nasty lines. And then sometimes the filament quality is just really poor and it just looks awful. So I got red for my Rudolphs and their nose was like almost clear. So I had to return that one. I've returned a lot of filament. So if you think that you can't, you definitely can. I've returned it not 100 times, maybe like 6 times. But there's a lot of filament issues. So cheapest isn't always best. I try to buy quality. And you just kind of have to experiment. But don't get too caught up on like one filament. It was a beautiful filament. It was like a purple maroon. It was a dark maroon purple, and it was beautiful. And I was making these trees out of it. And then I really wanted to remake another tree for somebody. And I went to go buy it, and it's no longer available. It's like, nope, you can't get this color anymore. And I've waited and waited, and it's never come back. So if you love a color and it's not like a normal basic color, it's like a dual silk, tri-silk, whatever, stock up. I don't know what to tell you, but some of my stuff, my purple gold too, gone. I'm like so sad about it. And I know I can find similars. I know there's hundreds out there. But yeah, it was just something I didn't know. So that is the lesson number 3 that I learned as a newbie 3D printer. Okay, so number 4th lesson learned is not going to be for everybody because not everybody's in my situation. But for me, it was where you're going to actually put the dang things. They do take up quite a fingerprint, okay? So your table can't be too short. It can't be too skinny. It can't be too low, and it can't be too wobbly. We got into the apartment in September, and we started our journey in November. So we know we need to get out of here now. And that's why I'm working so hard to try to get out valuable content for viewers. So hopefully, we can help ourselves get out of this situation, which is a teeny tiny apartment. So help you go out with my shameless plug and hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 1,000, y'all. Thank you so much. Anyways, let's keep going. So putting your printer, where you're going to put your printer is very important. We started with one, and it was on a 6-foot folding table next to our laptop. And it would shake the laptop violently, and it was just like a little scary. So then we got the printer on something solid in the closet next to something else. But then we had a third printer, and we're like, well, what are we going to do with it? So we had to put the third printer on a 6-foot table. We ended up getting a 4th printer, and we had 2 A1 minis on a 6-foot, like right here, right where this thing is, and 2 in the closet. And I had like no space for anything else. And I was like, this is crazy. I was looking at everything. I was looking at L-shaped desks, looking at Facebook Marketplace for used items. Maybe we could put them on the wall with these heavy-duty shelving brackets from Home Depot. I looked at IKEA. So finally, when I was at Home Depot buying my Christmas tree, I was like, yeah, what the hell? Let's just go check them out. These Husky shelves were on sale, and I have a pretty good veterans discount at Home Depot. So I was like, let's do it. It was $200, which is cheaper than what people want for their L-shaped desks, like their office furniture, and used crappy shelving in their garage. So I was like, it's a no-brainer. So we just took it, and it is beautiful. We actually have a before and after of what our office used to look like and what it looks like now. It's right here in this video if you guys want to go check that out after this video. Anywho, have something solid. Have something high up if you have pets or if you don't want your kids touching them. Make sure it's in a closed environment. Like, you don't want a big draft. Where you put your printer is important. You need enough room to work around it. At one point, we did print out the little spoolies that sit on top of the A1 to get the AMS unit up top so it would have more space next to each other. But right now, they sit just fine next to each other, and we haven't had a problem, and we absolutely love the setup. So thinking about your printer placement is, we had our printer sitting in a box because we didn't know where to put it. So knowing where to put your stuff before you buy it is, we didn't know. Like, that was another learning curve. We didn't know that these things move, man. These things are like little machines moving things around. It was crazy. So it was fun, and we figured it out, and yeah. So this last lesson learned is kind of a sticky topic. I don't really hear much people talk about it. So we're going to talk about 3D sellers and undervaluing your product. So I feel like I am going to be the first to say it. I do feel like that the 3D prints that are coming out are very much worth more than people are selling them at. Especially if you take the time to change your software settings, change your specs to make them more durable, scaling them, using multiple colors, coloring them yourself. You know, I colored this turtle. I colored each part of him by myself. Okay, that time it took for you to do that, your printer doing it, the filament you're using, all of that should be taken into account, right? So my question to you guys, and the lesson that I learned was undervaluing my time and efforts, but it was a lesson that I learned incredibly quick because I've been selling crystals, rehoming crystals for 4 years now. That's a very competitive niche. It's not the easiest, but I'd understand that when you have something that nobody else has, rarity definitely drives up the price. Your love for it drives up the price. So if you're having trouble figuring out what to sell, you need to make things that you love. That's what we do. We make things that we would want to buy. We make things as nice as we can. We don't really think about how much we can print at a time. We aren't selling to the masses. We are a small boutique. So my pricing is going to look very different from somebody else who may be at a flea market. And definitely from an Etsy. Etsy is a whole nother beast. I have my own Etsy shop that the way I price on Etsy is completely different from how I do my live shows and even probably how I will do my 3D models once I get them on Etsy. I'm a big fan of entrepreneur Alex Hormozy, and he's very successful. He's all over YouTube. If you need a boost on getting motivated to become an entrepreneur, binge watch his stuff. But he says, you know, if somebody has something that you have and they sell it for really cheap, I mean, if you know the value in what you have, what does it matter what it costs you, and what does it matter how much more you're selling it versus them? He says it's that type of thinking that keeps small businesses from succeeding and ultimately failing. So I thought that was very interesting. If you know that you have something valuable, why are we comparing it to what people are selling? I thought that was very interesting. So what do you guys think? Where do you guys stand in how things are priced? This is very much an art. We're in a toy revolution, you guys. Everything is basically, you know, like I have a dragon over here, and unless you have a printer with my filament and the known specs that I use to get him to the quality that he's at, it's very unlikely that if I price him $10 higher than my competitor, that I won't sell him. So that type of mentality of looking at other sellers, I typically try to stay away from unless I'm using a platform like Etsy. That is different. I'm talking about you guys that are at your markets. I find it interesting because I brought this up to somebody at a market and I asked them, I said, why don't you sell this higher? And he said, because then they won't buy it. That is 100% your mentality and how you're going to manifest your perfect customer. If you believe that you can sell this golden pig for $30, okay, then you can. If you believe it, okay? If you believe you can sell it for $30, then it can be done. But if you pick up this pig and you're like, this is not going to sell for $30, then it won't. Be positive in what you're selling. Be excited about what you're selling. Be confident about what you're selling. I don't know where most people stand with that. I know a lot of people don't talk about it that much, but I would love to talk about it. I used to go live daily over on TikTok. I haven't in many months. I've been thinking about doing it here. I love chatting with people. This is a whole brand new topic. I am still very much learning every day. So I by no means am trying to tell anybody what to do, how to do it. I'm just giving you my experience, my perspective as somebody who jumped into it very quickly, not knowing anything at all. Anyways, it is a mother truckin' toy revolution right now. I'm a super fanboy over it, and this whole, even though I'm a huge noob in the whole world of it, I do believe that if I could get started, anybody can start. If you feel that pull to do it, trust me, it is so much fun. It is so great. It is just. It's like I'm living my childhood dreams over here. I just can't get enough of it. So if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to question me in the chat below. I would love to see what you guys are thinking. And I will see you guys in another video. If you would like to hang out with us live, I do hold lives every Sunday on Facebook. It is linked in my description. And I also on Etsy, if you want to check us out there, that is also in the description below. So I thank you guys so much. Feel free to like and subscribe if this was your jam, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now, everyone. You can't see me. Ooh. All right, here I go again. Girls, what's my weakness? Filament. I just said that. I gotta just read my freaking notes. It's too much improv going on here. I'm already lost. Shh, that was me. Shh. Oh. I was looking at